Alright, to start off the video here, we'll be talking about the cape in the atmosphere at 10 a.m. There's 100, 250, up to, I think, 300 in some areas. Which was honestly pretty good for surface-based, even after the mitigation from the overconvection in the storms down in Georgia. We have our mixed layer cape, which is about 250. So this is all before our chase at about 10 a.m. So pretty good energy even after the huge mitigation. Here we have our SRH, which is our storm relative helicity. We're about 300 to 200 in this area, which is a lot. Enough to sustain storms even with such little cape. Here's our shear, which is the speed of wind in the atmosphere. This is 0.6 kilometer, about 70 knots of shear. 70 to 60 knots of shear in this area. It was really potent. Here's the radar as we were beginning to approach the storm. It was pretty unorganized. Here's our little time lapse here of us driving towards it. Alright, and this is radar as the storm began strengthening. It got tornado warned actually for a couplet inside the storm. And then here's our time lapse of us just really driving towards it. Now in a second here, we're gonna slow the video down because just look at that beautiful RFD cut in the mesocyclone there. I know the video is super low quality, but you can really just see the RFD cut straight into the mesocyclone. Like, the entire base of this thing was rotating. It was awesome looking at it from this perspective. Then here at 11 a.m., so during the main risk, main tornadic type event, we had 250 cape and hundreds on the outskirts. For mixed layer, we have about 250 cape as well. So pretty much the same amount of cape through most of the atmosphere. And our shear was about 60, 70 knots, about in that range. So wind speed is still super strong. And our SRH here was about 300, 200, which is also really strong. Here's radar as we were approaching. And as we were approaching, I actually didn't notice this while we were chasing for at least a few seconds. There was a developing couplet right next to us, which I began worrying about because, it's a developing tornadic couplet, especially in a QLCS setup like this. So we begin booking it north, and we get caught in the RFD. And I'll play that video now. Alright, and here is my video of the rotating wall cloud, because that actually was strong enough to produce the wall cloud. It was massive. You can see RFD wrapping around in the base, even with this low quality video here, which I apologize for. I wasn't using the right recording app, but it's fine footage. Also ignore the shaking and rattling of the camera. I was freaking out. Also, please mind my siblings and my mom in the back. But this was an awesome video that I shot here.
No tornado yet. I can see the base. Nothing's under it.
You can see the RFD in the back really wrapping around.
You can see the RFD over there. You can see the RFD in the back.
Alright, now that that little clip is over, I'd like to mention a few things about this chase that I pretty regret. The first thing that I regret about this chase, I was chasing way too aggressively and put me and my mom and the rest and my siblings in pretty bad spots because I was just so desperate to see something after not seeing anything for months, which is entirely on my part. And the second thing I regret is that I was not looking at radar even close to enough. I was not keeping track. I was trying to record as much as possible, which I pretty regret now that I really think about it. But yeah, I'm hoping that I get better, and especially with my recording skills. But yeah, I hope that I can get better at doing this.